Please subscribe my channel. I didn't plan to come home early that night. Tuesdays were usually long days at work. Paperwork piled up, and it was easy to stay late and make excuses. But all afternoon, something felt off. There was a quiet pressure in my chest that I couldn't explain. I left work an hour early, drove home in silence, and told myself I was just tired of the routine. 15 years of marriage can do that. After a while, you stop listening to small instincts because most days, nothing actually happens. When I pulled into the driveway, the house was dark. Laura's car wasn't there, which didn't surprise me. She had said she was meeting friends. I unlocked the door, stepped inside, and immediately noticed a sound. Soft laughter coming from upstairs. It wasn't her polite, public laugh. It was lower and more personal. I stood still with my keys still in my hand. My heart didn't race. It slowed. That calm scared me more than panic ever could. Without thinking, I took off my shoes and walked upstairs. Each step felt distant, like my body already understood something my mind hadn't fully accepted yet. Our bedroom door was halfway open and the light was on. Clothes were scattered across the floor, not tossed, but dropped quickly. A man's jacket lay near the bed. It wasn't mine. I didn't kick the door open. I didn't yell. I simply pushed it wider. They didn't notice me at first. Laura was on the bed with her back to the door. The man stood close to her. His hands were where mine used to be. He laughed at something she said. That laugh hit harder than anything else. Not the nudity. Not even the betrayal. It was the comfort between them. How easy it all looked. Laura turned when she heard me breathe. The color drained from her face so fast it was almost shocking. My name came out of her mouth automatically. Not with guilt or regret, just habit. The man froze. His eyes moved between us as if he were already planning how to escape. I noticed strange, useless details. The soft buzz of the lamp. The dent in the pillow where my head usually rested. How normal everything looked, as if this moment had already happened many times without me. I didn't ask why. I didn't ask how long it had been going on. Those are questions people ask when they still hope to fix things. I didn't. I smiled. That confused them both. Get dressed, I said calmly. You have 5 minutes. Laura started crying right away. Apologies spilled out, messy and overlapping. She reached for me, then stopped when she saw my face. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I was distant. The man cleared his throat and said my name like we were about to have a discussion. That was his mistake. I walked to the dresser, opened the bottom drawer, and took out my phone. I had already unlocked it by the time he spoke again. I took pictures, clear ones, with faces visible. I made sure of that. Laura screamed and lunged toward me. I stepped back. Don't, I said quietly. You've already done enough. They got dressed in silence. I sat in the chair by the window and watched them move around like strangers caught in a storm. When the man finished buttoning his shirt, I finally looked at him. You're Jason, I said. From the gym. His eyes widened. Of course I knew him. People always think being unnoticed will protect them. Good, I continued. This will be simple. Laura asked what I was doing. I told her I was taking control of the only thing left that belonged to me, the truth. I left the room, went downstairs, and logged into our shared accounts. The one she assumed would always be there. I changed passwords slowly and carefully. I canceled cards, froze transfers, and saved the photos to a secure folder. Then I wrote 3 emails I had always hoped I'd never need to send. By the time they came downstairs, I was finished. Laura stood at the bottom step, shaking. Jason hovered near the door, already halfway gone. I looked at my wife and felt something settle inside me. Not revenge. Clarity. You should leave, I said. Both of you. Tonight. She opened her mouth to argue. I raised my hand once. This is the last decision I make for us, I said. For the first time in years, she listened. I didn't know then how far this would go, or how fast quiet decisions turn into consequences. I only knew I wasn't going to beg, explain, or bleed slowly anymore. Whatever came next, good or ugly, would happen on my terms, not in the dark. That truth settled in when the front door closed behind them. The house felt bigger afterward. Not emptier, just honest. I stood in the living room for a long time, listening to the hum of the refrigerator and the ticking of the clock Laura chose, because she said it felt cozy. I didn't touch anything. I didn't sit down. I wanted to remember that stillness because I knew it wouldn't last. By morning, my phone was full of missed calls and messages. They swung between apologies and blame. I didn't open them. Instead, I sent the photos, the account changes, and a short summary to a divorce attorney a coworker had once recommended as a joke. He replied within an hour. Calm, professional, clear. That tone mattered. It reminded me I wasn't wrong for choosing myself. Laura came back that afternoon with her sister. She looked smaller somehow, wrapped in a hoodie like she could disappear inside it. Her sister did most of the talking, using words like mistake, confusion, and temporary. I listened without interrupting. Then I told them all communication would go through lawyers from now on. When Laura tried to argue, I handed her a printed copy of the evidence. She went quiet. Jason tried calling me that night. Then he texted long messages about misunderstandings and feelings. I blocked his number and forwarded everything to my attorney. Consequences don't need discussion. 2 days later, his wife contacted me. Her name was Megan. I had met her once at a charity run. She had been polite and kind. Her message was short. She thanked me for telling the truth and said she deserved to know. I didn't reply. Some things don't need commentary. The fallout came fast. Laura moved into a short-term rental. Her account stayed frozen. Her version of the story spread to friends at first, then fell apart when timelines didn't match. People notice patterns when they're finally willing to look. Jason lost his gym membership, then his job. Apparently, workplace rules still apply even when you think no one is watching. A week later, Laura asked to meet one last time. She called it closure. I agreed, but only in a public place. We sat across from each other in a cafe where we used to spend slow Sunday mornings. She cried. She apologized again, more carefully this time like she had practiced. She said she never meant to hurt me and that it just happened. I told her something I had been holding onto since that night. Things don't just happen, I said. They're chosen again and again. She asked if there was any chance for us. I shook my head, not because I hated her, but because I finally respected myself. The divorce took months, not because it was complicated, but because she kept hoping I would soften. I didn't. I stayed polite and exact. I let the lawyers do their work. In the end, the settlement was clean. No drama, no last-minute miracles, just paperwork, signatures, and an ending that matched the truth. On the day it was final, I went home and stood in the same living room where everything began. The clock was gone. So were the pictures. The space felt lighter. Not happy, just free. People ask me if revenge felt good. I tell them revenge isn't the right word. I didn't yell. I didn't destroy anything. I didn't chase satisfaction. I chose boundaries, and boundaries carry weight. They change lives. The real revenge wasn't what happened to Laura or Jason. It was what happened to me. I sleep without tightness in my chest now. I don't question my worth in silence. I don't confuse loyalty with losing myself. Sometimes late at night, I think about how close I came to staying, to making excuses, to shrinking myself so someone else could stay comfortable. That thought scares me more than the betrayal ever did. Walking in on them hurt. Taking control healed. And if I learned anything from that night, it's this. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Then decide who you're going to be.